Okay, you've heard the term machine learning thrown around everywhere. It sounds kind of futuristic, right? Like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But what if I told you it's already all around you, every single day, and it's built on an idea so simple we all do it without even thinking? Well, let's break it all down.
I mean, seriously, have you ever stopped to think about that? How does your inbox just know that an email is junk? Or how does your favorite streaming service seem to read your mind and suggest the perfect movie? That's not magic. Not at all. That's machine learning in action. And we're about to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
All right, to really get a handle on this magic, we only need to understand two super simple concepts. Think of these as the absolute building blocks for everything else we're going to talk about.
So first up, let's just talk about the idea of learning itself. You and I, we learn by seeing things happen over and over. We spot patterns in our experiences. That's literally how we figure stuff out. And that one core idea, just recognizing patterns, that's exactly what we're trying to get computers to do.
Now, for our second ingredient, data. If learning is the process, you can think of data as the textbook, or maybe the library. It's this huge collection of examples, facts, and raw information that a machine can study to get experience. Because, let's be real, without data, a machine has absolutely nothing to learn from.
So what happens when you smash these two ideas together? You take this human-like ability to learn from patterns and you combine it with just massive, unbelievable amounts of data? Well, you get machine learning. It's really that simple. We're teaching computers to learn from experience, pretty much the same way we do. And here's the kicker. This is the most important part. We are not giving the computer a long list of rigid step-by-step instructions. We're actually doing the complete opposite. We just give it a ton of examples and say, here, you figure out the rules. And so it learns, it adopts, and it actually gets better and better over time. Now check this out, because this slide really shows the total flip in thinking. With old school programming, we humans have to write all the rules. You feed the computer data plus your rules, and it spits out an answer. But with machine learning, you feed it the data and the answers, and the machine learns the rules for itself. That right there, that's the game changer. So how on earth does a machine actually do that? It's not some mysterious black box, I promise. It's actually a pretty logical step-by-step process. You can almost think of it like a student cramming for a huge exam. Okay, so first you just drown it in data, tons and tons of examples. From all that, it starts to pick out key characteristics, the stuff that seems to matter. It uses those features to build what we call a model, which is just its own little system for spotting patterns. Then comes the test. We check it for accuracy, see what it gets wrong, and then it learns from that feedback and just keeps improving with even more data. To make this super clear, let's use a really simple example. Imagine teaching a computer to recognize an apple. You wouldn't write a rule that says, if it's red and round, it's an apple. That's way too rigid, right? Instead, you'd show it thousands of pictures of apples, and also oranges and tennis balls and everything else. And eventually, it would just figure out on its own that the combination of features like a certain color, shape, and size usually means apple.
Right, so this is not just some theoretical idea floating around in a lab. Machine learning is already out there in the real world, working behind the scenes in ways you probably don't even realize. Take healthcare, for instance. ML models can look at thousands of medical scans, like X-rays, and learn to spot these incredibly subtle patterns that might signal disease, sometimes even before a human doctor could see it. It's pretty incredible.
Or how about your bank? Machine learning is like this silent guardian watching over your credit card. It learns what your normal spending looks like. So the second a purchase seems weird or out of character, bam, it flags it as possible fraud in a fraction of a second.
And you definitely know this one. That recommended for you section when you're shopping online, yeah, that's no accident. That's a powerful ML engine analyzing tons of data to predict with creepy accuracy what you might want to buy next. And of course, self-driving cars. This is where machine learning is the brain of the whole operation. It's taking in this constant flood of information from cameras and sensors, trying to make sense of a chaotic world, and making critical life or death decisions every single second.
So we've seen how it works and where it's used. But what's the one big idea you should walk away with? What's the main point of all this?
It really all boils down to this. Machine learning isn't about creating thinking machines that are just like us. It's about giving computers a powerful tool to find solutions by themselves. It lets us tackle these ridiculously complex problems with way too much data for human to ever sort through, and find patterns that we never would have seen on our own.
And really, that leaves us with a pretty huge question for the future, doesn't it? We've seen this tool tackle fraud, help diagnose diseases, and even drive cars. So as these machines get better and better at learning, what's the next big, hairy problem we should point them at? It's definitely something worth thinking about.